Hello, my retro friends. Thank you for finding my channel, Mike the Retro Realtor. Today, we're going to take another diversion from real estate. It's dog days of summer. There's not a whole lot going on right now. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about cars again. You guys know I'm a big car geek. Obviously, you know that I lean really hard into the 80s and 90s cars, mostly American, but I'll definitely talk about the Europeans, the Japanese, and Koreans as well. So today's topic is, does it make sense to daily drive a 30 or 40-year-old car? In my case, yeah, it does. There's a couple reasons why it makes sense. We're living in a world today where the average new car costs $50,000. Then you put on interest rates of 10, 12% for a car that's just going to depreciate. So when you get to a car that's about 20, 30 years old, 40 years old in some cases, it's hit the bottom, and in some cases they're actually going up in value. Fieros back in the early 2000s were almost worthless. Even a very nice example could be bought for a couple $1,000s. But now Fieros are actually getting fairly expensive for what we're talking about. Gen Xers are now scooping them up and the prices are rising, which makes me feel good that I could actually sell my car for a profit. The number one reason to buy and daily drive an old car is they're cheap. You can buy a nice example of a 20, 30-year-old car that runs well, anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 for a nice running car. I went deep into this with my $5,000 Lincoln Continental, the best winter car you can buy for the money. Insurance. These are, once again, $5,000 to $10,000 cars. Full insurance, in many cases, will cost you $600, $700 a year. That's very inexpensive. I go through Hagerty on mine. So for the Fiero, for instance, I have $15,000. That insurance is $600 a year. If you're looking for gas mileage, this is not the way to go. My cars average about 20 miles a gallon. I'm not looking for extreme gas mileage. That's not my concern. Next, and this is one of my favorite things. This is an intangible. I'm driving the Fiero. I'm driving the Eldorado. I'm driving the Mark 8. I'll be at a gas station. People approach me. And all these cars, I actually take to car shows because I like to maintain them and make them look really nice. I know I'll see in the comments like, oh, Fieros are junk, blah, blah, blah. Not really. They're actually very robust cars once you get later in the run of the cars. In fact, if you are going to look and buy a used car, buy late in the run as possible, because the factories do respond to criticisms and there's recall, and the factories do eventually take care of them. The Eldorado has a head gasket problem, and the factory waited way too long. I think it's about 98, 99, where GM decided to make the head gasket on the Cadillac engine, the North Star, much more robust. I do have a 95, and I did replace my engine, but I just love that car too much. I've actually owned that car since 1999. So I'm going on 25 years of ownership. When you have a car that long, your cost of ownership goes down dramatically. That car actually did have a note on, but that thing's been paid off since 2002. So now we're looking at 22 years of no payments. Yes, I replaced the engine. That was a big one. But other than that, that car has been real solid. A couple $100 here and there for minor things, nothing to be concerned about. Once you get a car and you get it sorted, because, you know, I'm buying these cars sight unseen on auction sites, you get the best price, but there is some issues. Even the Fiero, when I brought in, which has been, again, a very good car, the clutch was on its last legs when I got it, and I basically killed it. It was, $1,500. Okay, that was 3 years ago. Now, 3 years of owning the Fiero, I've got $1,500 for the clutch and $200 for one of the headlights that stopped popping up. So $1,700 over 3 years. That's pretty cheap. Even if you don't have the ability to write out a check for one of these cars, if you take a loan for a $10,000 car, your payments are what? $150, $200? Now we have people that are making videos where they're saying, I pay $700 a month. I pay $800 a month. I pay $1,000 a month. That used to be a mortgage 10 years ago when I used to sell houses in West Dallas. $1,000 a month. That to me is the weirdest flex you could ever have, bragging about how much money you waste on a car payment. Because car dealerships will slime you every way they can. They will stretch that payment out for 84 months. It does make sense economically to buy a 30-year car. Let's talk about the pitfalls that I touched with the Fiero and the Cadillac. They do break down more, obviously. I have gone out and there'd be a dead battery. I've gone out and there'd be a flat tire. If you have the minimal of mechanical understanding or mechanical abilities, which I have the very least minimal, you can fix it, you can replace a tire, you can charge a battery, you understand what a trickle charger is. My mechanic, who is awesome, does not mind working on these 80s and 90s cars because I walk in there and I have a fairly good idea what the problem is. This guy, Andy over at R&R Mechanics in West Milwaukee, he is awesome. Andy, big shout out to you. There's a reason why you still see a bunch of 20-year-old Accords and Camrys on the road. Those things are freaking tanks, and they are so well built. The maintenance issues in most cases are not that bad. You always have to have a little bit of a supply of cash. Something is going to happen, and it's up to you if you want to keep it on the road or not. And then just being in touch with the old school technology. Rolling the gears of a 5-speed manual. Not many people do that anymore. and it's just kind of fun. At the long story short, buy later in the run, do your due diligence, understand what you're getting into. There will be issues. The flip side is you're not making $1,000 a month payments on a depreciating asset. If you want to save some money, I think it's a much better investment than buying a brand new whatever. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much for your time. Keep it retro, my friends.